In the shadowy depths of Azeroth, whispers carried tales of a forgotten artifact, the Veilstone. It was said to hold the power to bridge the gap between worlds, a relic from the Titan's era. Deep in the jungles of Stranglethorn Vale, where mists clung to the trees, a mysterious disturbance had begun to draw the attention of both the Horde and the Alliance. Reports of strange energy pulses sparked interest among adventurers and scholars alike. Commander Darian Fordring, a veteran of the Ebon Blade, received word of the artifact through cryptic missives from agents scattered across Azeroth. His gaunted hands clenched the parchment as he read the words, "Veilstone unearthed." Beware the shadows. Darian's mind raced. Anything connected to the Titans could spell doom or salvation, and he knew this mission would be critical. In Orgrimmar, Warchief Thrall convened with his advisors. The Veilstone, if real, could secure the Horde's survival amidst their ongoing struggles. Thrall dispatched a team led by the cunning rogue Garona Halfforsen. Her expertise in stealth and her knowledge of ancient artifacts made her the perfect candidate for the task. Unbeknownst to them, the Alliance had also sent its own expedition. The Alliance's team was led by Arcanist Jaina Proudmoore. Her years of experience in magic and diplomacy were invaluable, but this mission brought back painful memories of betrayal and loss. Determined to prevent the Veilstone from falling into the wrong hands, she gathered a small but elite group of warriors and mages. Among them was Turalian, wielding the holy light with unshakable resolve. As the Horde and Alliance teams set out, they were unaware of a third player in the shadows, the Twilight's Hammer. The cult, long thought diminished, sought the Veilstone to usher in another cataclysm. Deep in their hidden sanctuaries, they chanted to the void, invoking powers that had been dormant since Deathwing's fall. Their spies kept a close watch on both factions, ready to strike at the opportune moment. The jungles of Stranglethorn Vale were treacherous, filled with predators and the remnants of Gurubashi trolls. Garona's team moved like shadows, avoiding unnecessary conflict. She knew every step mattered. However, an ambush by feral panthers cost them precious time and injured one of their scouts. Garona pressed on, her instincts warning her that others were closing in on their goal. Jaina's group, meanwhile, relied on magic to shield themselves from prying eyes. Turalian led with unwavering faith, carving a path through dangers with his shining blade. The group's camaraderie was tested as they encountered Horde scouts. A tense standoff ensued, but Jaina's quick thinking averted bloodshed. She suggested a temporary truce, knowing the greater threat lay ahead. In the heart of the jungle, the Veilstone's resting place was revealed, a ruined temple overgrown with vines and pulsing with faint, otherworldly light. Both factions arrived simultaneously, and the atmosphere was thick with distrust. Garona and Jaina, old acquaintances through tumultuous times, exchanged wary glances. Their teams formed uneasy lines, ready to strike if provoked. Before either side could claim the artifact, the Twilight's Hammer struck. Cultists emerged from hidden tunnels, their voices rising in eerie chants. The air crackled with void energy as they summoned twisted abominations. Chaos erupted as Horde and Alliance warriors found themselves fighting side by side against the encroaching darkness. Spells and blades clashed, not against each other, but against a shared enemy. Darian Fordring arrived in the midst of the battle, leading a contingent of Death Knights. His presence brought a chilling aura, but his purpose was clear. The Veilstone must not fall to the void. He bellowed, his run-a-blade carving through cultists with precision. Together, the unlikely allies pushed back the Twilight's Hammer, but the cost was high. Many fell to the cult's void-infused monstrosities. As the dust settled, the Veilstone lay untouched, glowing faintly on an ancient pedestal. Jaina approached cautiously, her fingers tracing runes that glimmered on its surface. She could feel its immense power, a combination of light and shadow. Garona watched her warily, her daggers at the ready. "What will you do with it?" the rogue asked. Jaina's eyes met Garona's. "Seal it away. This power is too great for any one faction to wield." Reluctantly, Garona nodded. The faction's representatives worked together to encase the Veilstone in a protective barrier. It would be transported to a neutral ground where neither Horde nor Alliance could exploit it. As they prepared to leave, whispers echoed through the jungle. The Veilstone's power had not gone unnoticed by Azeroth's greater threats. In the shadows beyond the ruins, a pair of glowing green eyes watched, calculating. The battle for the Veilstone had ended, but the war for Azeroth's future was far from over. The uneasy alliance disbanded, each side retreating to their territories. Jaina and Garona parted ways with mutual respect but lingering distrust. The Twilight's hammer had been dealt a blow, but their ambitions remained. For now, Azeroth's heroes could only hope that their fragile peace would hold against the darkness yet to come. In the days following the battle, the Veilstone was transported under heavy guard to Dalaran, the neutral city floating high above Azeroth. Jaina, weary but resolute, took personal responsibility for its protection. With the Kirintor's resources at her disposal, she began to research the artifact's origin, its purpose, and how it could be neutralized. The runes on the Veilstone whispered secrets only she could hear, a siren song of knowledge and danger. Meanwhile, in Orgrimmar, Warchief Thrall received Garona's report. Though relieved that the Veilstone had not fallen into enemy hands, Thrall was troubled by the rogue's account of its power. He summoned the shamans of the Earthen Ring, hoping their connection to Azeroth's elemental spirits might shed light on the artifact. They, too, sensed the Veilstone's ties to the Void and cautioned against further tampering. The Twilight's hammer, though thwarted, was far from defeated. Deep within a hidden cavern, their leader, a prophet known as Vorath, communed with the old gods. The Veilstone was but one piece of a larger puzzle, and Vorath vowed to complete it. With his cultists regrouping, he unleashed agents across Azeroth, sowing chaos and searching for other relics tied to the Titan's legacy. As tensions simmered, whispers of the Veilstone's discovery spread. Adventurers, treasure hunters, and power-hungry warlords turned their gaze toward Dalaran. The Kirintor, ever wary, fortified their defenses. Yet, betrayal came from within. A disgraced mage, tempted by the Veilstone's promise of ultimate power, sabotaged the city's wards. In the dead of night, the artifact's protective barrier shattered. The explosion of arcane energy reverberated across the city, waking its inhabitants in panic. Jaina rushed to the chamber where the Veilstone was held, her heart sinking at the sight of the shattered barrier. The artifact pulsed with unchecked energy, creating rifts that tore through the fabric of reality. From these rifts emerged creatures of pure void, their forms twisted and unnatural. Darian Fordring, still stationed in Dalaran, led his Death Knights into battle once more. The clash between the Kirintor and the Voidspawn echoed through the city's streets. Jaina, focusing her magic, managed to stabilize the Veilstone temporarily, but the cost was immense. The rift subsided, leaving behind scars on the very air of Dalaran. The disgraced mage responsible was found, his body consumed by the void. Realizing that the Veilstone's power could not be contained within Dalaran, Jaina called an emergency council of leaders. Thrall, Anduin Rin, and other key figures of Azeroth gathered to discuss the artifact's fate. The meeting was tense, with accusations flying between factions. Yet, amidst the discord, a plan emerged. The Veilstone would be hidden away in the Shadowlands, a realm beyond Azeroth's reach. To enact this plan, the factions would need the help of Bolvar Fordragon, the Lich King. It was a perilous proposition, but Jaina and Thrall agreed to lead the delegation. The journey to Isochrone's citadel was fraught with danger, as the Twilight's Hammer, aware of the Veilstone's relocation, launched relentless attacks. Vorath himself appeared in battle, wielding the power of the old gods to devastating effect. In the final confrontation at the Frozen Throne, Jaina, Thrall, and their allies faced Vorath and his cultists in a desperate struggle. The Veilstone's volatile energy threatened to tear the realm apart, but with the Lich King's aid, they created a portal to the Shadowlands. Jaina, using all her strength, hurled the Veilstone through the portal before collapsing from exhaustion. Vorath, enraged by his failure, vanished into the shadows, swearing vengeance. The portal closed, and the Veilstone was lost to the Shadowlands, beyond the reach of mortal hands. Yet, the cost of victory weighed heavily on Azeroth's champions. Friendships were strained, alliances tested, and the scars of the Veilstone's corruption lingered. Back in their respective strongholds, Jaina and Thrall reflected on the events that had unfolded. The Veilstone's disappearance brought a fragile peace, but the threat of the Twilight's Hammer and the old gods remained. As Azeroth's heroes licked their wounds, they knew that the battle for their world was far from over. In the shadows of Isochrone, Bolvar Fordragon stood vigil. The Veilstone's echoes resonated even in the frozen halls of the Lich King's domain. Bolvar, his eyes burning with the fire of the dragon soul, pondered the artifact's significance. The Shadowlands were vast, and though the Veilstone was hidden, its power could never truly be contained.